In case I forget to say it, Ms. Kinchelow, you'll have 30 days to appeal anything illegal about the following sentence. And if you can't afford a lawyer to represent you on appeal, I'll appoint one for you. In a moment, I will build up to announcing the sentence in 22 CF 9476. I'll announce some of the minor things first, and then I'll go through my reasoning for the sentence, and then I'll impose it. And she's already been fingerprinted, correct? Okay. As to both counts, you've already been adjudicated guilty. There will be court costs plus $100 to the state and the $2,500 fine. And while on supervision, I give your probation officer the discretion to waive or modify costs that qualify for waiver or modification based upon a demonstrated financial need and you otherwise being compliant. I also give you the ability to work off money that you owe that qualifies for public service work at a rate of $15 per hour.
Right off the bat, this judge sets the tone, calm, firm, and completely in control. No dramatic theatrics, just facts. But make no mistake, that calm, it's the eye of a storm about to hit.
Because there has been public interest in this case, I'll go through my analysis on the record and for Ms. Kinchelow's benefit too. So this is my 30th year as an attorney. And I worked for 12 years as a prosecutor. I've handled animal cruelty cases. And I'm going into my 17th year on the felony, on the bench, with many years in the felony division. And as we all have come to learn, there are certain cases that generate a great deal of public interest for various reasons and generate a great deal of disagreement between the state and the bar and the defense bar. This is an example of one of those. I have sat through the entire trial, and I have taken into account what I learned at the trial. I've also taken into account the mitigating evidence and information that has been presented to the.
When a judge starts listing his decades of experience and specifically calls out animal cruelty, you know this isn't just another case. This was personal for him, and for the public watching too.
Court. The jury found that you set an animal on fire, and in the aftermath, you videotaped the charred remains. Anybody looking at that act, what the jury found, would not be able to understand it. And the first video is of this raccoon, and I know you describe it as some nuisance or menacing animal, and all you see is this little raccoon face looking up at the screen.
That one sentence hit me hard. All you see is this little raccoon face looking up. That's the image that broke people. Not just what happened, but the complete lack of mercy caught on tape.
Of course, people look at, if you torture an animal, what does that say about the rest of you? Because animals are completely helpless. They're not motivated by the same things that motivate human behavior. And when humans deliberately make animals suffer, there is a justifiable cause for concern. You have no prior record. But because of what you did, both before and after in recording it and publicizing it and putting it out to the world, and the texts that were exchanged in the aftermath, it wasn't just one day for you. It was a series of days. It wasn't just one moment in time. There was more to it than that. And it was a series of deliberate acts in terms of publicizing beforehand what was going on with the animal, for whatever reason, not calling animal control to come out there and take care of the little guy, and then taking whatever action that you say you did versus what the public believes that you did, and then the aftermath. Some of the things that you said were just inexplicable on the video and in the text messages. You sealed your own fate when it came to how the public will forever perceive you. All you have to do is Google Raccoon and dumpster, and this comes up.
She didn't just commit the act. She turned it into content, recorded it, shared it, texted about it. This wasn't a moment of panic. It was premeditated, prolonged, and publicized. That's what sealed her fate.
And this has been a vicious thing for you to do. It was a vicious act. And in kind, you have been treated viciously by members of the public. And for whatever motivates them, I don't understand that either. I just don't. So I have presided over homicides. I presided over manslaughter cases. I presided over cases where children have been sexually abused as infants and toddlers and young kids. And I try and look at what kind of sentences are done in those cases and what is proportionate. I do not think the state's request is proportionate. It does not honestly make sense to the court. Based upon my experience, the mitigating factors, the remorse that I have sensed from you, your lack of record, it deserves punishment. There's absolutely no question about that. It deserves punishment. But I don't.
He's seen murderers, child predators, but this case made him stop and ask what kind of punishment fits. That says everything about the brutality and the sheer coldness behind her actions.
The request was proportionate. So one of the consequences that has already taken place is you have become a convicted felon. And for the people that don't think that through in terms of a punishment, not only can't you vote or ever possess a firearm or ammunition again, it's likely that you will have difficulty if you ever have to rent. Places will not rent to you. You can't even sleep on couches where people have it in their leases that convicted felons can't stay there. And you will not be eligible and may not be able to maintain certain licenses, including in the healthcare industry. So all the hard work that you have done is most likely jeopardized for good. You have to disclose it every time you apply for a position or job where someone wants to do a background check on you or anything that is personal and important to you. And then you have this out there in cyberspace basically for all time at this point. So the convicted felon status and how this has gone out to the world will follow you.
This isn't just about jail. It's about a ruined life. Voting rights gone. Career over. Kids forced to explain their mother's cruelty someday. And that viral video, that's forever. This is a sentence without walls.
For the rest of your life at this point. And as Officer Gray wrote in the pre-sentence investigation, you've contemplated what it's going to be like when your children are going to need to understand why you did what you did. And that's going to be a discussion to have. And they have been punished for this, and they will continue to be punished for this through no fault of their own. So I think I've said everything else. So with that, as to counts 1 and 2, they will be concurrent with each other. You are adjudicated guilty. I'll announce a period of supervision and then the consequences. I place you on 2 years of community control to be followed by 3 years of probation, with a special condition that you are to complete 45 days of the work offender program within 315 days. I considered sending you to the jail and breaking up that sentence for the sake of your children. I called the jail And while they said that they could try and do it, they have not done that in ages. So I did call work release, and they said that they are able to accommodate you, although there are times when people have to work for animal services, and that will restrict the types of work that you can do on the work offender program. You are to report to community control immediately today. Does Officer Gray, do you have any other instructions that you need?
I can speak to it.
Right, I'm not going to put the address on the record. Within the first 30 days, you are to sign up for and successfully complete at the first available opportunity the Thinking for a Change course, and I asked probation to give her priority.
Absolutely.
Hopefully that goes somewhere. Within the first 30 days, you're also to sign up for and successfully complete at the first available opportunity the anger management course. You don't have to do the Thinking for a Change in anger management at the same time. One can be stacked on top of the other for probation's monitoring purposes, so you don't have too much going on. Also within the first 30 days, you're to obtain a mental health evaluation, complete the evaluation successfully on the first attempt within the time period given to you by the treatment provider. If what you are doing already works for probation, I'm fine with that too. You'll perform 100 hours of public service work. There was some thought about ordering you to do things related to animals. However, the recipient would not probably want you there because of what you've done. So I would just ask that you work through that with probation about what programs are appropriate for you. And the public service work would not need to be started until at least after the work offender program. You will not be allowed to own or possess any pets. You will need to surrender those within the next 30 days at this point. Mr. Russo, I'm sorry. I'm going to ask you to leave because I keep seeing you reacting and shaking your head and doing things. I'm going to ask that.
He didn't throw her straight into jail, but he made sure her freedom is anything but free. Work offender program, public service, mental health evaluations, no pets, and zero comfort. This was structured punishment.
We'll make a copy for you.
And I definitely want her to see what the consequences of not showing up,
Oh, well, I'll tell you that.
participating.
Your sentence is 45 days in the Sarasota County Jail. However, if you successfully perform 45 days on the Sheriff's Work Offender Program and complete that, I was going to make you do it in 180 days, and they can't coordinate that, so it's 315 according to their math. If you fail to complete that, you will automatically be arrested and sentenced without any further hearings before the court. All right. So with that, the fingerprints have already been taken. Mr. Grolman, I'm going to direct that you and Ms. Kinchlow and the people that are with her leave the courtroom and the courthouse grounds immediately. That way, if anybody else wanted to linger, then that won't pose a problem to you. For those of you that are here as observers, you are to remain in the courtroom until further order of the court and the bailiffs.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a happy and Merry Christmas.
You too.
Thank you so much.
She didn't just lose her freedom. She lost her identity, her dignity, and her future. The walk out of court? That was symbolic. No longer a citizen in the eyes of society, just a felon with a legacy of cruelty.